Whew, it's going to be a good one. 99% of traders fail. How is it that 99% of traders fail and 1% succeed? Is it because of their strategy? Is it because they don't have enough time in the market? Is it because they don't have a finance degree? I can tell you it's none of those things. It's actually something extremely simple. It took me forever to work it out. It was such a long journey. But once I did, it changed my trading forever. And so what is it that the 1% do that the majority of people just cannot do? If you've gone to YouTube, you've found a strategy and you're trying to implement it in the market, there is a high chance you're unsuccessful. There's a very high chance you're part of that 99%. And that is totally fine. The industry is designed that way. It's been like that forever and it will continue to always be like that. You are the liquidity. The quicker you understand that, the quicker you can improve as a trader. And so what is it that these big institutions can do to you as a trader on a day-to-day basis? One of the things they do, and they've been doing this for years, is they push certain strategies into the marketplace using influencers, brokers, prop firms. So they literally create the education system for the industry. That means they know how traders are thinking. They know where their order's going to be, where their stop loss is going to be, and they can emotionally manipulate you out of that trade. Not only that, the brokers and prop firms, they sell your data to these institutions so they know where your orders are at all times. The entire thing is stacked against you. But in saying that, there's still a small amount of people that aren't a part of those big institutions. They don't have that insider information, and they still take money off the 99% day in, day out. So what is it that they know that the majority of people just do not know? That's what this video is going to be all about. And it's not what you think it's going to be. This has nothing to do with strategy. That's not why you're unsuccessful as a trader. I can put a strategy, a proven, back-tested strategy right in front of you. You won't be able to execute that strategy without knowing what I'm about to tell you. I know people that make money buying and selling on trend lines. Why can't you buy and sell on a trend line? Because trading is much deeper than just strategy. So what is it that the 1% do that the 99% cannot do? Before we understand that, we need to know what the majority of people are doing when they're trading. How does the majority of people trade? Then we can go, you know what, I'm not going to trade like that, because we know it doesn't work. And so, how does the 99% trade? They all do it. They all do it. They trade from what is called lack. They are in the frequency and energy of lack. What does that mean? They are trading because they want to quit their 9-to-5 job. They're trading because they want to go away on holiday. They're trading because they want to buy a new car. They're trading because they want to work from home. They want to be free. Whatever it is, they are trading from the energy of currently not having something that they want. What does that do? That puts them in the state of lack. That is the worst possible way to trade. Why is that? Let's say you want to leave your 9-to-5 job. You want to go away on holiday. Then all of a sudden, you have a losing trade. You lose $1,000. You're now further away from leaving that job. You're further away from going away on holiday, and you're even more in lack. What does that do? I know what it would do to me. It would make me feel extremely angry. So now, not only are you in lack, you are now angry because you're further away from getting those things that you wanted. You placed a massive expectation on the most uncertain thing that has ever existed, which is the market. And so you're angry at candlesticks that are printing on a screen. What happens when you're angry at candlesticks printing on a screen? You go on tilt. You try to attack the market. And this happens to absolutely everyone. It happened to me for years. And so now you're angry and you've gone on tilt. What happens when you're on tilt? You're attacking them. You're attacking the market. These candlesticks are the most horrible things that have ever happened to you. Now that that's occurring inside of your body, you start over trading. These emotions start building heavier and heavier inside of your body because you're further and further away from those things that you want. You're deeper and deeper in that frequency of lack. So now you start over trading. You're taking all these trades that you shouldn't be taking. You're FOMOing into trades. You're moving your stop loss way lower than it should be. You're moving your take profit heaps higher because you need to make back that money so you can get closer to quitting that job. Everything you do is from that frequency of lack, of not having something that you currently want. That is the worst possible way to trade. Okay, now that we understand that, we do not want to trade like this. And I know for a fact the majority of people that are watching this video are trading this exact same way. I did for years, unconsciously. I had no idea. I thought it was my strategy. I was blaming the brokers and their slippage. I was blaming the prop firms and their rules. I was blaming everything else except for myself. Every trader gets to a point in their career where they realize, I've read all the books, I've learned all the strategies, I've listened to all the podcasts, done all the back testing, and they realize, you know what, it didn't really have much to do with that at all. It had everything to do with themselves. Once you're at that point, you are extremely close. And this is what will get you there. So now we understand how the majority of people are trading. Terrible way to be trading, honestly. I did it for way too long. Way too long, unconsciously, just had no clue about it. And so, if that's how the majority of people are trading, then how does the 1% trade? They actually trade from a completely different energy. It's actually the exact opposite. They trade from what is called abundance. They trade from the frequency and the state of abundance. What does that look like? They have a losing trade. They accept that they lost that trade. They close their computer, they journal about that trade, and then they go into the next day knowing there's going to be another opportunity for them to make money. Why is that so simple for them to do? Because they haven't put a massive expectation on the most uncertain thing in the world, which is the market. They are always certain there's going to be another opportunity for them to make money. That is trading from the frequency of abundance. They're not trading, they're not forcing the market to help them quit their job. They're not forcing the market to take them away on holidays. They are just trying to be the best trader that they can possibly be day in, day out. That's all you care about. Because how could you get angry at candlesticks on a chart? Someone on the other side of the world pressed long when you press sell. That is all that happened. It's the most uncertain thing ever. You cannot be angry at it. You can only be angry at it if you've placed some sort of expectation upon it. And so that is trading in the state of abundance. And so let's learn how we can get into that state of abundance. There's one thing that the 1% do that allows them to stay in that state of abundance. If you want to be a successful trader, you have to cultivate a deep belief in yourself. You need to deeply believe in yourself. The majority of traders that I speak to just simply do not believe in themselves. They'll speak to someone about trading, say, I'm doing this trading thing. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if my strategy is quite right yet. I don't think I'm profitable as a trader. Everything they say to themselves is that they do not believe or trust in themselves or their strategy. How do you think that's going to reflect in the markets? When they sit down at their computer and they go to execute a trade, do you think they're confident going into that trade? I don't think so. Do you think they can sit in drawdown when their P&L is running negative against them? I don't think so. And what a lot of traders say is, once I start getting some results, then I'll start believing more in my system. It does not work that way. So they jump from strategy to strategy to strategy until they get the results, and then they start believing in themselves. It doesn't work that way. You have to believe first, because you won't be able to sit confidently in that trade. You're just going to exit the trade. You're going to freak out. You're going to FOMO because you're in that state of lack. Everything comes back to whether you deeply believe in yourself or not. Before we can deeply understand this as well, we need to know that this universe, this simulation, this matrix, whatever you want to call it, it is a direct reflection of your mind. Your entire reality is created by the thoughts that you think on a day-to-day basis. That's why you can have a negative person. They're constantly negative. They're always speaking terribly about themselves. They're always sick. Bad things keep happening to that person. Then you have a really positive person. Great things keep happening to them. They're always in a really good mood. They're quote unquote lucky. These two people are creating their realities completely differently based on the thoughts that they're thinking. And the exact same thing happens with your trading. So how do we cultivate a deep belief in ourselves and in our trading? A part of you already thinks you can make it in trading. Otherwise you wouldn't be here, which means a part of you already believes in yourself. You need to act as if you're already a successful trader. How would a successful trader think? Would they be on Instagram or YouTube scrolling, trying to find that next strategy, stuck in the education loop, which most traders are? They keep looking for that next golden strategy that's going to make them profitable as a trader. The word profitable and unprofitable in trading, it does not exist. That is the industry trying to confuse you. Successful traders, they'll have a losing month. They'll lose $100,000 on the month. Do they go into the next month going, oh, I don't think I'm profitable anymore as a trader? No, they go in with confidence, knowing there's going to be another opportunity for them to make money. And they execute their trades with confidence. And then they make it all back within a couple of weeks. Because they're not doubting themselves every opportunity they get, just doubting themselves whether they're profitable or unprofitable. That's what the lack of mindset, that's what the 99% do. Okay. One of the things I would do is I would follow all these gurus. I'd be following them, watching their trades. All of a sudden someone would say, oh, I'm going long here. The market should go up from this position. My intuition was telling me the market's probably going to go down here. But I would doubt myself and I would go long following these gurus. And then price would just inevitably dump. But I didn't believe in myself. So I didn't take the trade. I went long and I lost money. Because the market is completely subjective. The moment you just drop absolutely everything else, stop watching all this other bullshit and just believe in yourself, believe in your intuition, trust your trading, everything will start turning around, trust me. Okay, so cultivating that deep belief in ourselves. One of the things we can do, and this is one of the most powerful things, not just in your trading, in absolutely every other aspect of your life as well. We can use this technique, which I did, and you might think it's the stupidest thing you've ever heard in your life, but I guarantee you it will change everything. Visualization. We use visualization to create the reality that we want to have. We sit down in visualization in the mornings and at night, and we visualize what day we want to have. And so in the morning, we sit down for 5 minutes. 5 minutes in the morning. The first thing you do, have a drink of water, sit down and visualize for 5 to 10 minutes. The more you start doing this, you'll start wanting to do it longer and longer because you'll actually start enjoying it. What do we do in our visualization? We use imagination. Your imagination is actually one of the most powerful tools that you have. People just think it's what kids do when they're sitting, they just dream, they use their imagination. Oh, they're thinking of little dinosaurs and things. Your imagination is the most powerful thing you can use. It is what creates your reality. We imagine the future that we want to have, and then it creates itself in our life. Just like I was talking about before with those negative and positive people, they are creating their reality by the imagination that they think their life is like every single day. So when we sit down in our visualization for 5 minutes in the morning, we are imagining that day that we want to have. We're imagining ourselves going to work. We're so happy that we're at work because we know we're going to leave. Our trading's going to go so well that we're going to leave. And then what happens? Trading is going so well that we're going to go away on holiday. We're going to buy that new car. We're just going to be working from home and on holiday, wherever we want to be. We use our imagination to create that reality that we want to have. And so 5 minutes in the morning, we sit down and we are experiencing that life. We are experiencing ourselves. I went to work that day, came home, sat down at my computer. I executed that trade with confidence. We feel what it feels like to be inside of a trade with confidence when our P&L is ticking green, constantly ticking green. And we just watch that trade play out. We feel what it's like to be a successful and confident trader. We deeply believe in ourselves, in our strategy. We turn off all the other noise and we're deeply believing in ourselves. That's what we do inside of our visualization. And like I said, you might think that's the stupidest thing you've ever heard. I guarantee you, once you start doing this, everything will start changing. I know it changed everything for me. And so visualization, 5 minutes in the morning. Use that imagination. It's the most powerful thing you have. And then 5 minutes at night. At night time, we are setting up our next day. We reflect on the day we just had. Some things I didn't do the best. I can improve on those. We sit in this visualization process at night, and then we create the next day we want to have. I'm going to have a really good sleep. I'm going to wake up in the morning, do my visualization again. I'm going to recreate such an amazing day. At first, this is really tough to do. Once you get through the hump of, it's probably a couple of weeks it takes to get used to doing this. Once you get used to it, all of a sudden your imagination just clicks into point straight away. And you start imagining that reality that you want to have straight away. And by then you'll notice things are starting to change in your life. Your trading's starting to improve. You're starting to trust yourself more. You are actually becoming a successful trader. All because you are starting to deeply believe in yourself and you've turned off all the other bullshit, all the other gurus and noise and Instagram and YouTube and all that other bullshit. And you just concentrate and deeply believe in yourself. This is the most powerful thing you can do. This all ties into like meditation. So if you guys don't know how to meditate, just YouTube how to meditate. And we use the visualization, we become present in ourselves. We turn off all that head noise that we have, all that lack mindset that we have, all those thoughts of not having what we want. And we just concentrate on ourselves and we imagine that reality that we want to have in the morning and at night time. So that's how you do it. Like I said, it is the most powerful thing that you can do. Once you start doing it, you'll keep wanting to do it because your reality will start shifting. And you won't be going into trades second guessing yourself, oh, what's that guru over there doing? Is he going long? Or, oh, actually, I feel like the market's going to go down here. You know what? I'm going to trust that. I'm going to wait for my setup to occur. I'm going to enter with confidence. I'm going to allow the trade to play out. Oh, it went against me. Oh, that's okay. That's all good. No worries. I'll close my laptop, close my computer. I'll journal about that trade and I'll go into the next day knowing there's going to be another opportunity for me to make money. And at night before that next day, I'm going to imagine exactly how that trade's going to go the next day. I'm going to get to my session time. Trade's going to play out perfectly. My strategy's going to open up. I'm going to execute. Price is going to run in my direction. We are creating our reality by deeply believing in ourselves. That is the most powerful thing you can do in your trading. And all of a sudden, you're going to start trading like the 1%. They go to their computer each day. They have this unwavering faith in themselves and they just press the buy button. They have no fear. They're just pressing buy, they're pressing sell. They know exactly what to do and they're in flow with the market. You cannot be in flow with the market when you have this lack mindset and all these thoughts going on, all these things that you want to happen in your life, all these expectations that you're putting on something that is completely uncertain. Once you understand you're playing with something that is basically completely uncertain, all you have is this edge, and your idea is just to maximize that edge to the best of your ability. You cannot get angry with the outcome. Like I said, someone on the other side of the world just had a different idea of you on that trade, and that forced the market to go in the opposite direction. It is silly for you to get upset, annoyed. It's only because you're in that state of lack. That's all it is. It has nothing to do with the market. It's got nothing to do with your strategy. It has everything to do with yourself. So I'll leave you guys with that. And I know you're going to make it as a trader. You just have to believe in yourself.